Oh, and the nightmare continues for the Phillies at Citi Field. Make it 9 nightmares in a row. Phillies lose to the Mets 6-5. Nimmo singles to center. Marte scores, and the Mets walk it off. Welcome to the Titans final on It's a Wrap Sports Network. Woo, this is getting old, right? Um, what are they up? 5 games now on the Mets. Uh, this 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 sucks. This is exactly um, what the Phillies can have in this final push to the playoffs. It's almost like they're playing a little like they know they have the division, and you can't play like that. You can't play like that. Yeah, the ump was horrible tonight, and I hate blaming the ump for losses and things like that. But this ump he was horrible. Um, Luzardo, he got in his face after Soto called timeout, and I was in the first inning, right, first or second inning, and he allowed in the middle of Luzardo's windup, and boom, Luzardo's getting pissed, and I'm surprised JT didn't get in the middle of it, but they let him have it. Um, he was able to leave the bases loaded there in the first. These first 5 innings, it was a pitcher's duel in a sense. It goes scoreless, or through the first 4 innings, really, until that 5th inning, where Bryce got things going. He was the only really decent um, player for the Phillies early on. So this was this thing really opened up in the 5th. So let's get into some of these comments before we get into what went on from the 5th inning on. News, what's going on? F Major League umpires. This this umpire misses 16 pitches before the 5th inning was over, yet we still have umpers. Yep. No, this was bad. I don't get why you can't have somebody in your ear. Still, if you want to have the nostalgia of a ump there behind the plate, cool. But why not have someone in their ear to correct them in certain instances? Let's get the flow of the game moving in the way it needs to be. You get these players frustrated when it's calls that they know are strikes. Yeah, they're wrong a lot of the times, but tonight was a perfect example of why we need some assistance in that department. And yes, I will say it again. Duran, 1 off-speed pitch all night. The flash is over. And you, when you know what's coming, these are major leaguers. These are professionals. You're going to be able to time it right. And look at Friday night against the Nationals tonight. There you have it. Bases loaded. And what it was essentially, it was 4 singles from the time he came in. So, and his job is to close the game out, and in this instance, get it to the 10th. Couldn't get it done. This is applicable. Yeah, no, this sucks. Joe Hale. Sorry, that was Star Wars, everybody. Joe Hale, what's going on? Horrible game. Noob's tired of being right all the time. It sucks, right? It sucks, Names. Star Wars JT was unacceptable. Yeah, no, everyone was unacceptable. What's up, Steve? The Mets have our number. No, what's up, Adam? That's how it seems. What? Let's go. Where's the 5th? This 5th was wild, right? Bryce gets things going. He breaks a scoreless tie, gets 2 runs, 2-0. Then Luzardo. That's when the mess comes in. Luzardo hits Torrens. Lindor gets the hit. Soto gets a hit up the middle. Bader sails that the throw home trying to get Torrens, and he was never going to get Torrens on the play. So why he just didn't throw it to the cutoff, keep the runner at first, keep Soto at first, so you keep the double play alive. It just horrible, 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 horrible. Then what do you guys think of? I don't know if you guys were watching. They showed Luzardo after he got taken out. He he's walking past the ump. He's cursing him out, telling him to wake up. This isn't the minors. You could read his lips clear as day. It was Luzardo wasn't happy with this ump from the first inning on. From the beginning of this game, he wasn't happy. Star Wars, we losing tomorrow because of Walker. Yeah. I mean, this series reeks of sweep. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who before this series saw this coming. Um I I didn't think they would be swept. I didn't think they would sweep. I thought that they, the somewhat of momentum they had going into this series, yeah, sure, this was the time where if you're going to answer and you're going to prove a lot of the fans heading into the playoffs that, yeah, we're for real, that they're, these bats that are coming alive somewhat. It's not just a fluke. The whole win it for Wheeler movement, you know, go out there, the galvanizing moment, it clearly was a few game thing. Kirkland comes in with bases loaded, no outs. Alonso gets a double instantly, makes it 3-2 Mets. Vientos gets the RBI, makes it 4-2. There's still no outs, and then finally you get the out with the sac fly from Nimmo makes it 5-2. It was a nightmare. Not only has this 9-game losing stretch at Citi Field been a nightmare, it's that fifth inning. That fifth inning just reeked of these last 9 games at Citi Field. Adam, I'm tired of seeing these guys swinging at pitches in the dirt and outside. Yeah, talk about Castellanos. Horrible, horrible, horrible. He could have left him on the bench. Could have left him on the bench tonight. Marsh could have started in his place. He didn't need to be out there. If Trey would have moved to left, they would be out of the inning. Yeah. Joe, Mets fans are jerks. Joe, you're down there, right? So yeah, so you're probably getting killed down there. Um, Sixth inning, nothing goes on. For the Phillies, Bader did get a nice um double to get Bohm to third. Nothing came out of it. Sorry. No, they made it 5-3 in the third. Bader had a pretty decent game, right? He ultimately, what, in the eighth, nothing really happened in the seventh. Strom came in. I thought Strom did a pretty decent job. Kept the Phillies close in that seventh inning, kept it 5-3. What do we have here? But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of what Strom was able to do there in the seventh? I thought he came in and did exactly what he needed to do. Same thing with Alvarado. I think he's coming in and doing exactly what he needs to do with his limited time that he has available in the before the playoffs start. But that home run from Bader, right, gives you hope, gives you a little bit, but wasn't enough because then, like what we talked about at the top of the show, News brought it up. Iran comes in to not close this instance, but to just get the game further on, get the game into the 10th inning. But he comes out and he throws the heater, doesn't have anything but the speed pitch. And these guys are timing. You had the middle, you had the meat of the lineup coming up. He had 3, 4, what, 4, 5, 6, I believe. 3, 4, 5, maybe. And they all got singles. They all got singles out of it. Just exactly what you fear for the Phillies and what they may do and how they may fall apart in the playoffs and here down the stretch. That's what these last 2 games have been. The remaining ace that you have pitched like shit last night. They get rid of the wrong pitcher. Romano goes on the injured list with a finger injury. So that means he's going to be back. He doesn't need to be back. The hell does he need to be here for? But instead, Joe Ross, he gets the can. So, yeah. And like who brought it up earlier in the show? Let me go back and see. Who was it? Star Wars. And things aren't looking great because you got Walker. You got Walker coming up tomorrow. So, chances of getting swept pretty high. Pretty high. Let's go. Where did I leave off? Where did I leave off on the comments? Here we go. I missed one. So if the umps are responsible for 3, no, for 3 for 19 with runners and scoring appearances so far this series. Come on, homers. No. I literally said, I'm not blaming the umps for the loss. I never blame the umps for the loss, but it was clear as day. He was bad tonight. This ump was bad tonight. He's not the reason. I'm just saying he was bad. Sometimes there are movies where the movies are bad, but the actors weren't bad. Just the movie itself was bad. That's what I'm saying here. I'm not blaming the ump for the loss. I'm just saying he was bad tonight. Adam, is Kevin Long even telling these guys not to swing at them? Are they listening? Is anybody even listening to the coaches anymore? I don't think they are. Nooms. Duran better start throwing more curveballs before his pregame ritual becomes a South Park spoof. Yeah, right. The ritual is going to be, what's the point of it? Why do you have it if you're not going to produce? Can't have a walkout like that if you're not going to produce. Yeah, he was away, but still, no. South Park spoof. I like that. Joe Bader was the only bright spot. Yeah, Bader was the only bright spot tonight, and I would say for the first half of the game, it was Bryce. Let me see what we got here. Let me look at the box score. Pull it up here. Bader 3 for 4, had the home run and the 2 RBIs. In the 5th inning, he had the single to left, then he had the double in the 6th, and in the 8th, obviously he had that home run. That baby was up to the moon, but it gave him a pulse for a moment. I thought that was going to be a moment where they can rally and they go on to score something in the 9th, and Duran would come in, but no, that wasn't that's not what happened. Besides Harper, okay, so Joe, he came back with it. So Harper was another bright spot tonight. News: umpires should be auto ejected after 17 misses across both teams before the 5th inning was over. It's time to replace all but maybe 10 of them and their bullshit union. Yeah, it's definitely I don't know how you fix it in such a time-honored sport, really. Honestly, as much as I am frustrated with it too, I don't know what the answer is other than to just keep what it is. And eventually, with all technology and everything that we have, people are going to get pissed enough where they figure something out. But as of now, this is just, it's what they got. Joe, by the way, your name says, oh, do I have the wrong one? Oh, good catch. Look at me. Boom. Here we are. Welcome back. It is me, Steve, not Al. April Fools in August. Get back to the comments. How you like that? We're professionals over here, Joe. Thank you. Nooms, he misses 25 pitches tonight. 25. Nooms, I like how you count it. You are definitely a statistician. Star Wars, I'm tired of Mets, so I don't want to be in the division with the realignment. When the alignment comes. Yeah, that realignment, it'll be it's interesting to see people's theories on all that. I don't like it personally. I like the little bit of movement. And that smacked as Scott Barry rings up Brandon Nemo when he didn't even come close to swinging. Yeah, and there was time I saw that too, and they made the joke if Ryan Howard's out, then he's out. If he swung, then Nemo's out. It was on both sides. That's why I'm not saying that it was the Phillies lost because of the ump. The ump was bad for both teams. He overall just missed a lot of pitches. Why is Weston still here? I actually think he didn't do too bad tonight. I'll give him credit. In the what was it? I think it was the 5th when he ran that play out at first where they weren't able to get the double play. Lindor made that nice play at short. But Wilson ran it out. So I'll give him credit. And then he ultimately scored on a play for that. So I'll give him a little bit of credit there. But yeah, I know I know a lot of people aren't too thrilled with him. Scott Barry needs to be sent back to Florida Instructional League immediately. Yeah, Luzardo was livid. He was livid. What's the official rule on a swing? If it's in the OBR rule book, look it up and educate yourselves. We're going to have to all look it up. Everyone look it up. Nooms, Jesus Luzardo was 200% within the right to tell that clown to wake the F up. It's time to clean house. It was good. It was good. I like that. I wish they would have aired that earlier. I wish they would have kept that on the screen. And look who we have. We have a guest, a man of the next hour, I guess. Matty B, what's going on, Matty B?
Hey, listen, Steve, I'm sorry to jump in on your show, but I gotta get in here because I'm not going to sit here and listen to amateur people in this audience start bashing up on the umpires. Here's the thing. All right. Did he miss some calls tonight? Yeah, of course he did, right? As far as the swing goes,
more than the average.
What is the rule of swing? Do you know? I do. It's a judgment call. It's a straight judge. It's a judgment call from the umpire. That's what it says in the rule book. So what? Don't get on the umpire. Get on the guys that write the rule book. Come up with a better rule. On a check swing. On a check swing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a judgment call on whether or not the umpire, in his judgment, thought the batter was going to swing. He's applying the rule, not making up his own. So if you're upset, then get into the rule book, call them people up and say, we want a rule book change. So I'm not going to listen to that nonsense about, it wasn't even a close. Yeah, apparently it was in his judgment based on applying the rule correctly. So I'm not going to listen to that nonsense.
The ump came in and was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to allow this. He comes in and he sets the rules straight for all of us. I love it. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. And because I got to do that because honestly, it's a poor artist who blames his brush. The Phillies have played dreadful through this series. And stop making excuses for the umpires, for this, for that. 3 for 19 with runners in scoring position. The Phillies have committed 6 errors over the last 6 games. No, it's amateur hour out there. It's your Philadelphia Phillies. That's what the hardcore reality is. This team is not playing like a World Series contender or even a playoff team. A huge series that should have had playoff implications for them. It sure as hell has playoff implications for the Mets, and they're playing that way. So, again, if you want to get upset, feel fine. And what's Steve saying? 25 pitches. I got to go back. I'll rewatch the game. I'll go pitch by pitch, and I'll see if he missed 25 pitches. But as far as that, everything else he applied correctly. As far as the Soto thing goes, now here's the rule. What's the rule about that? Can you tell me?
Which
about
one?
Calling timeout, but requesting time.
Oh, that
can you quote what the rule in OBR is for that?
No, that I don't know the rule.
Then why are you all fired? Why are you all fired up because a timeout was granted?
He was in his back. I mean, he was in his windup.
Okay, but what's the rule? So, tell me the rule.
I don't know the exact rule.
Look, so why
all I'm saying is that doesn't. The optics of that look like.
I don't care what the optics say.
Why would you grant
or
that?
Not the rule. It's not the. But here's the rule, and you're right. The rule says when the pitcher's set and into his windup, timeout cannot be given unless the umpire decides to give it. It's again a judgment call on the umpire's part. But in the rule book, it does say once he's in his delivery, you don't grant timeout. Now, I don't know what was happening up on the plate. I don't know what the conversations were going on between Realmuto and Soto. And I don't know because I wasn't there. I wasn't behind the plate making that call. I wasn't behind the plate in front of 75,000 people trying to hold together a Major League Baseball game. So instead of condemning that umpire, why don't you give him a damn round of applause for performing well in that type of pressure situation? And again, we don't know all the stuff that was going on behind that plate. So I'm not going to sit here and hang him out to dry for a call in the first inning, in the first friggin' inning. Come on, man.
Well,
what are we doing?
He set the tone then.
He set a tone for what?
His judgment was going to be bad all game.
You don't know what the conversation at home, Steve. You don't know what was going on at home plate. You don't know what was happening at that moment with Soto, with JT.
That's what we're doing here. That's what we do on these shows. We're supposed to get mad about it and talk about
what you're condemning a certain person for screwing this game up, and it's wrong.
I thought he was bad on both sides. I mean, the players ultimately, he was bad tonight. This was pretty bad, I think, for a professional.
What metrics?
For professional standards, I think, for umps across the league.
So what are you judging him? What are you grading him on? You don't know the rule on the swing. You didn't know the rule about granting timeout. How can you grade him on a metrics when you don't know all the rules?
The eye test. I've watched a lot of baseball.
You don't know the
and I'm
rules.
Just saying, I know when I see a good ump, and I know when I see a bad ump. And tonight, I'm sure he's called good games. Hey, sometimes I show up to work and I don't have my A game. I'm sure you were the same way.
Never.
I'm sure he could go out in his next game and be great. And no one's going to talk about this. But for tonight, like I said, some games I go to sick. He might be sick. Like you said, we don't know the conversations that happen at the plate. He might have had a cough. I got allergies. The weather changing and everything. This ump, he might be having bad allergies, and his judgment might be impaired, and he might have just had a bad night. So just like what the Phillies had there in the ninth in Duran, he had a bad night. That wasn't the ump. We all said it. Duran comes out with one pitch in the ninth. And when you're going up against professionals, what are you going to get? This is what you're going to get. Professionals who have your number, nonetheless.
Yeah,
right?
Duran's struggles tonight were pretty evident by the fact that he gave up those singles. That was pretty evident where he struggled. You guys are making, and I'm not blaming you, Steve. So please forgive me. This is.
Oh no, it's all fun.
Man. I love this stuff.
It's good.
Anyway,
it's good. And everyone, thank you. Hey, we're up to almost 300. We just crossed it. 300 viewers. So
look at that, man.
We're doing something right tonight. So thank you everyone for tuning in.
As far as the umpires go, the judge, you guys are making assessments based on your knowledge base of the rules, whatever that may be. And again, you just said it, the eye test, what you feel is a fair and a good game or a good called game. I don't know what that means for you. I know what it means for me. But the couple of the things that we talked about, the check swing and the other things, the rule was applied correctly. And if you don't like the rule, that's not the umpire's job. Is not to write the rules; it's to enforce them. And that was what the rule was about a check swing. It's a judgment call. And unfortunately, you got to play fortune teller and psychic to say, oh, yeah, he was going to swing. I agree with you. It's kind of an open-ended. And try being there on the other side of that when you're like, yeah, that's a strike. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Well,
swing. Hey, in my
well,
judgment,
no.
you were swinging, man. I don't know what to tell you.
And hey, I'll be the first person to tell you, I liked his misjudgment on that check swing because it benefited the Phillies, right? I'm that person who I love them when they give you a missed call for your team, but then hate them when they the roles are reversed.
Oh, that's a good point. But
You
no,
know, hey,
I
I'll be
wanted
honest
to
with
get
you there.
on and just tell you that, Steve. Listen, great show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. By the way, as soon as this show is
Yeah.
over, come on over to the final word. We'll continue this great conversation there. Jack Fritz from 94 WIP will be joining me. So, but Steve, listen, we the umpires aside, this team has not come out to play a game or to play this series like they are trying to put down the Mets. As you mentioned, they're playing this series like
31
they've
games
already
left,
won
30 games
something.
left.
Yeah, and they're playing like they've already won something, and they definitely
Yeah.
have not. And they need to wake up. And I don't know if tomorrow's going to be the wake up call. We'll see. Steve, thanks a lot for letting me hop on, man. Take care.
All right. I'll be tuning in here in a little bit. I'll get out of here. All right, everyone. Matty B, everyone coming here. Hey, don't talk bad about umps. All right. Don't do it. Because if you do, Matty B is going to be right around the corner. All right. He's going to be right around the corner coming for you. So he might just pop up on your show, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He hit something on the way out. Can everyone see me? There we go. Let's see what we can do here. Nope, I can't change it. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this for the rest of the time. I don't know if I can't switch the thing. So this is what we're going to do. Broad Street bottom line for you folks, for everyone watching. Tonight, Broad Street bottom line is don't blame your ump. No. Broad Street bottom line is at the end of the night, Matty B said on his way out. The Phillies are not entering playoff mode in the time when you need to be entering playoff mode. Plain and simple. Can't act like you've won nothing yet. Yeah, statistically, numbers wise, yeah, the Mets would have to go on and win like 75% of their games, and the Phillies would have to lose 75% of their games, right? And I'm sure it's happened in the past, and I'm sure history can repeat itself, but the Phillies sure as hell are acting like they've won something, and they haven't yet. So the bottom line is they got to get together in this final stretch. And I personally, I don't think the wake up call is going to be in the near time future. They are definitely, it feels like, on Labor Day vacation already. But I'm going to finish talking about this game, and we're going to go around the bases. We're going to let Matty B and Fritz talk about that. Where are we at? What do we have right here? Fritz from WIP. Jack Fritz going to be talking about this one and the Eagles 53-man roster. So let's go around the bases quick. The Red Sox and Orioles. Red Sox shut out the Orioles 5-0. Braves get the win. Big win over the Marlins 11-2. Guardians over the Tampa Bay Rays 3-0. Yankees get the win over the Nationals 5-1. Twins over the Blue Jays 7-5. Royals and the White Sox. Royals get the 5-4 victory, 1-run win. Pirates and Cardinals. Pirates get the victory over the Cardinals 8-3. Rangers beat the Angels 7-3. And the Rockies get the win over the Astros 6-1. On the games that are live right now, the Diamondbacks and Brewers are tied 8-8 in the ninth. Padres and Mariners are in the fifth. Padres are up 5-0. Cubs and Giants are tied up 1 apiece in the fifth. Tigers and Athletics are in the third. Tigers have a 4-3 advantage on the Athletics. And the Reds and the Dodgers are in the bottom of the third. That one is tied up at 1. And so now looking at the standings, yes, the Phillies have a 5-game lead over the Mets, and we'll see where that stands after tomorrow. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This was a good one. This is what it's about. This is why you tune in. And some other shows tune into on the network. We got P&M in the AM, Pat, Mike, and Al, always talking about some crazy stuff. Your Saturday, Sundays will never be the same as what now entering football season. They're going to be walking you into football Sundays. Pat in the wraparound, I believe he should be back either this week or next week. So he'll be back, and if it's not this week, it'll be Mike on the wraparound. What else we got here? Speaking of Mike, he's got his Happy Valley Huddle, Penn State football postgame show after every single Penn State game. So he'll be there, I believe, what is that, the 30th, this Saturday, after Penn State probably puts a beat down on Nevada. And then Mike's also got no pressure sports betting, props, locks, and parlays with Mike Lauro. So he'll be talking all your bets. Make sure you guys tune in because the guy knows what he's talking about when he's talking about gambling, when he's talking about sports gambling. And then, of course, Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn will be back Tuesday, September 2nd at 7 p.m. for the season 6 premiere. And then next Thursday, after the kickoff, after the game, the kickoff game for the Eagles and the Cowboys, it'll be me, possibly someone else will be there for the post-game show, wrapping that one up. So lots for you to choose from. And, of course, Thursday, Pat and myself, the attacking third, talking all things Union as they also head into the playoffs. So want to thank everyone for watching. Make sure you tune in to Matty B and Fritz coming up next. So thank you and have a good night, everyone. Ring the bell still, even though they lost.